Guys, what is going on? We're back to another video, and as you can see, the daily uploads have finally come back. This is no football. I did think to myself, what the hell am I going to do for a video idea? But listen, so many ideas, and here I am again. So, I was going to do a video on the NFL, the latest sort of Tom Brady news, going away to Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the money, apparently, even though he should have gone to the 49ers, and that's where his family's from. But listen, I ain't going to do a video on Tom Brady. I'm going to do the video on how should the Premier League season finish. There is like a 1,000,001 Dalmatians of like so many outcomes of how on earth this could actually finish this Premier League season. Of course, for the Championship season, it's been a rubbish season for us. But however it finishes, I'd be happy because technically we aren't going to be in League One next season. Listen, that was if it was to finish tomorrow. Now, if it was to finish tomorrow, then it is what it is. I mean, Borough stay up, Leeds go up, Liverpool win the league, many teams go down. But of course, finishing that way, right, would be absolutely awful because there's a few teams that I do think, do you know what it is? They can't relegate just like certain teams. Like, just like, do you know what I mean? Like, for me, you cannot end the Premier League season tomorrow. So after this meeting that obviously is going to happen about the Premier League and somehow about the outcome, you cannot say, like, that's it, let's just end the league now and just have it however it finishes because technically, Norwich could possibly still stay up. Villa are in there. I think Brighton are down there too. Newcastle to an extent could be somehow pulled into it. So I'm looking at it thinking, well, technically you can't do that because it is unfair. And with games after, and look at Watford as well. I mean, Watford are now on this climb. I think it'd be a bit harsh to say, do you know what it is? Let's end it and that's it. If it was null and void tomorrow, whereabouts like almost as if like the 1920 season never happened. Again, it's harsh to Liverpool because Liverpool absolutely killed this today. Like Jurgen Klopp has made an outstanding season upon this Liverpool team, gave them a mission, said go and win the league, otherwise the cojones are coming off, and they've gone, alright, no problem, went out and won the league. I mean, listen, the league is won. I mean, like, the league is won now, and Liverpool have won the league. If you were to go null and void and not even give them the Premier League trophy, that would be harsh. And now I know many people do not want Liverpool to win the league for the hatred factor or whatever, but how I look at it is, that's pretty sad to be fair. If I was a Liverpool fan, I would be absolutely in bits on somebody's shoulder crying because, listen, my team's won the league, but yeah, it's gone null and void, and clearly we haven't even won the Premiership. How this season finishes for me is, it has to finish. We have to play the last remainder of the games. It has to finish somehow. Now, I get that, like, COVID-19. I'm not even going to say what it's called, because yesterday, my whole video just got demonetized because I said that one word. That, you know what I mean? Listen, you know about that virus that's kicking about? Yeah, that one. I ain't even saying that word now, but basically, this evil thing that's overtaken the world at the minute is obviously affecting a lot of people, and of course it is still relevant. Of course, there's a video yesterday on it. That as soon as that sort of goes away from the sort of UK and, you know, sort of like the planet, as soon as it sort of dies down a little bit and everyone stops being affected by it, and everyone goes back to living normal, no more panic buying, etc., then the season's got to finish. Now, I guess that Euro 2020, of course, has been called off till next year, which is probably the right move because there'd be no way that you can actually play football season during the Euros. Like, it just wouldn't happen that way. The one thing I look at is like, okay, well, in terms of this season finishing, that's fine. But then how much of next season are we actually going to miss out on? Because, of course, we all know pre-season starts like, what, like end of July? Start of, it's the middle of July, really. That's when pre-season games start happening for all sort of Championship clubs and some Premier League teams as well. Unless they go away to Asia and other parts like that, you know what I mean? And obviously go and compete in them tournaments they go and have. Even with that, I look at it, I think, well, possibly for like the next 2 years, yeah, these players, by the looks of things, without anything actually being set in stone, technically, like, every single player for like the Premier League, almost like the Premier League, could be playing 2 years of football without a break. Like, when you look at it, right, like, right now is like their, like, summer break, innit? Because, of course, like, there's no games. Of course, illness is flying about all over the world. As soon as the games start again, and as soon as that season finishes, if it is in September, surely then the 2020-2021 season's got to start. Bang on in September. Then that goes into the Euros. As soon as the season finishes, the Euro starts. Then, of course, the next season starts. And then, boom, go back around again. So it's almost like 2 years for these players of having, like, no break. But I guess kind of like their break is now, although some teams are training. Like, as far as I know, like, Borough are still training. I think Championship clubs and League One clubs are still training. Some of them anyway, not all of them are still training, but I know some of them are still training. And I know most Premier League clubs are stopped training, apart from Manchester City, that won't give any information away. Like, okay, then secret agent, Mission Impossible things going on there. Because they're not giving away no information to whether or not they are training or not. But technically, I don't think they are, because Kyle Walker put a video run down the road saying, get me back to training. So technically, I don't think they're actually training at the minute. But how I see it is, it's one of those where this whole thing is just like cause like so many different problems. Obviously, you know what I mean, obviously for people, for obviously sport. Yeah, man, I don't actually know what's going to happen this Premier League season. Like, at first, I did think to myself, do you know what it is? Probably was avoid it, and that's it. But then at the same time, you can't avoid it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's important things to happen. Like, who will actually get top four inside the Premier League? And as far as I know, and this is, I think, true, but again, so it's just what I hear from people, and obviously off Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, if 14 teams out the Premier League tomorrow, I believe, vote to obviously close the league and that's it, just void it. And apparently the whole league gets voided and that's it. So as far as I know, Tottenham have chose to void it, and West Ham. Now West Ham have probably chose it because they know that technically there's still a chance of going down, and Tottenham are not getting top four this season. So them two teams straight away have already come out and said, look, we do not want to continue the league, let's just try and void it. Norwich will say, let's void it, because of course, you know, they don't really want to get relegated, so let's just void it so it never happened. I reckon Aston Villa would say the same thing. Brighton, Steve Bruce already come out from Newcastle and said that he'd rather void it void it instead of playing behind closed doors. Who else is down there? You know, Watford. Who else? Palace probably say it. Bournemouth. So there's like 9 teams already. The teams that are inside that sort of top 10, will they say it? Probably not, unless Sheffield United say it, because listen, right, if they void the league, yeah, Sheffield United are like close to a Champions League spot. They might actually want to continue the season behind closed doors and try and get Champions League, but again, it goes on the mentality of the players and the manager. If they don't want to play behind closed doors and they choose to avoid it, then it gets avoided. But the one thing I don't like is that, okay, that's fine if the Premier League gets voided, then why on earth is the Championship got to get voided for? Like, do we actually get a say in this? Like, that's the most confusing part of it all. Like, do other clubs actually get a say? Do other leagues actually get a say? Or they're just fine on the Premier League and that's it, and then everything gets squashed? Also, I'm saying, I mean, listen, there's like 101 Dalmatian like thingies, man. That's what I said at the start. There's loads and loads of different outcomes that could happen. A 22 team season is that the Premier League. If it continues, or if it starts next season, where about the top 2 of the Championship, Leeds and West Brom will go up to the Premier League. And then next season, will be like 5 relegations from the Premier League, and something like, what was it? Something like 5 relegations from the Championship. It's just crazy, isn't it? Like literally 5 relegations next season, which could work technically. I mean, that could work, but at the same time, I look at Fulham, who are like close to second, and they might say, hang on a minute, you can't do that because of course, you know what I mean, they still have a chance to fight for second. Teams inside of League One, and even Sunderland are trying to push the top 2. So a lot of teams turn around and kick off. I personally think that in a few months' time, you're going to have to put the season back on. I'm going to have to play through this one and then, of course, start the next one. I mean, as brutal as it might be on the players, I reckon because they're athletic and whatnot, they might be all right. I mean, that's just me. But I'm also seeing today as well, one more outcome as well before I let you guys go. One more outcome. The Midlands will host all the remaining Premier League games, and each and every team will play 3 days apart from each other, and every single game will be live on Sky for free to watch. Now, if that happens, that is a good outcome, but at the same time, it's like you can't play your own game inside your own stadium. You have to go to the Midlands, and for like some fans, like as far as I know, for Newcastle, it's like 4 hours. For us, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours sometimes, depending on which part of Birmingham you're going to go to. You know, for the likes of like people from like Norwich way, they've got to go all the way to the other side of England to go to their games. I don't really like that idea, but at the same time, I can see how it would work. Like Midlands is kind of middle for everybody, although it is technically like the middle of the country, so it is like technically the middle for everyone. Everybody has to go there, like sort of like every 3 days, play your games there. At least it isn't behind closed doors. At least you're actually going to get to go and watch your team. But it just felt like a cup final sort of atmosphere, wouldn't it? Because like half and half stadiums. I mean, listen, right, there's about half and half scarf at times, but like half and half stadiums, and like. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Would that actually work? Because, like, say if you're a season ticket holder for your current team, what about if you can't get a ticket for that game at the Midlands? But technically, like, you've already got your season ticket in it, so how would that work? I'm not too sure, but apparently that's what's going to happen, so that's one of the more outcomes. Which outcome do you think is going to happen, or do comment down below, let me know. I personally just think, a couple of months' time, go from May, maybe even June. There's only, 10 games after the season, I think, for everybody. 10 or 9 games for everybody, as far as I know. I think there's a few more for the Premier League. As far as I know, for Borough's, obviously from Borough's perspective, there's like 9 games after the season. Have them played in May, sort of June-ish time. Get through the season. Then maybe take a break if we can for a couple of weeks. And then, of course, go into the new 2021 season and go into the Euros. I mean, I don't see another possible outcome. I mean, you can't avoid the league at this point. You can't just say, okay, that's it, let's just relegate the teams that are there and promote the ones that are there, because that's wrong as well. For me, technically, you can't do that because teams still trying to fight to get out of the bottom 3. Teams still trying to fight to get, obviously to try and get promoted. The only thing you can possibly do is say, do you know what it is? Wait till it all calms down. It's mental illness. It's wait till it all calms down. Then let's try and go. And also, I didn't mean mental illness. I meant like mental, like as in like crazy illness. You know, wait until that sort of dies down, and then obviously go again inside the summer and finish off the games. It's the only logical way. Like, I don't see another way it's going to happen before people start like rioting and start kicking each other's heads in over it. So that's it. Which outcome do you think is the best, or which one have you read that you obviously that you're all kind of hoping for your team, or should I say inside the world of football? Comment down below, and yeah, man, check out social medias inside the description. I've not seen anything yet about the Football Content Awards being sort of called off or whatever due to obviously this illness going about. Of course, I can't say the name because obviously I got demonetised. So yeah, I say about this illness going about, I just don't see any sort of Football Content Awards being blocked or stopped or whatever. So make sure that you keep on voting for me. Link inside the description. Cash your 4 votes for me down below. And yeah, see you guys again soon. Peace.